So today we have this great, amazing guest, Gina, who in a very, very quick 5 weeks,
Yeah.
5 weeks has started her transformation process and has made some strides. So we're gonna get into that. What else? What else is new?
Everything. Every day's new. It's great out there.
It is great out there.
Yeah.
Middle of November, 60, 70 degrees.
You still
Can't
get to do
complain.
your running, right?
Still running.
Killing that game, huh?
Killing that game. Did
Yeah.
9 miles Saturday.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. It was too awesome.
Awesome.
Too awesome. You worked out yesterday?
I did.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sore. A lot of legs.
A lot of legs. What's that?
Yeah, Eric doesn't know anything about a lot of legs. It's like 2 legs.
Leg day was rough.
Got it. Okay, cool. So let's jump in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. By
Sure. Our pleasure.
Thanks for coming.
Our pleasure.
You're welcome.
So, I mean, we talked about it a little bit, that you know, you're a life coaching client of ours. And so let's talk about that. How'd we meet? How'd you meet Jeremy? How did it all start?
It started about, I want to say like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
I messaged him about like meal prepping.
Okay.
That was pretty much it, I think. And at the time,
How'd you guys connect to begin with? How'd you?
I had
Because you
no
live
idea.
Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook, one of the 2
Mhm.
social medias, yeah.
Okay, so let's just dive a little deeper. How'd you connect on Instagram?
I don't even know.
Well, you said the first time was
Oh.
through food, but then we connected a second time, which is recently, right?
Yes.
So
So-
first time was about food.
Yeah.
So what were you
Gina-
searching? You were
yeah.
searching meal
So
preps
I
and
was,
somehow came
yeah, I was
across
at a
us?
time in my life where I was really searching for, making better habits for myself and just trying to live healthier. It was kind of like the all package, and I'm like, okay, what can I do? I need to work out more. I need to start eating better.
What made that decision at that time?
At the time, I was going through a lot of emotional turmoil. I was in a major car accident, and there was just a lot of
I didn't know.
yeah.
That.
And I was really searching for something to help me. Like I had no control at that time, so I wanted to get control back. And the only thing I knew,
Physical, emotional,
everything. It was
Just not in a good
it was
place.
not a very good place at all.
So you're sitting in this not good place after a car accident, and again, your I guess choice or fork in the road was: do I use this as a crutch and continue this woe is me, or do I make a change?
Right.
Most people stay here.
Right. Well, I was in a really dark. That was like the darkest point of my life. I was.
Right. So your bottom.
I mean, it was the bottom of the
Of
barrel.
bottom.
Like you couldn't get any worse than that. The way
Right.
I was feeling, and I was in that state for like 3 months maybe of
Right.
just dwelling over all of the negativity and the ashamed of myself, and just it was just depressing time. And I finally was like, okay, I can't do this. Like I can't keep living life like this and feeling this way. So, I put myself in the situation. I'm gonna get out of it, and I just started, reaching out to anything and everything.
What did that feel like when you made that decision? That's it. Enough's enough. 3 months of this despair, negativity, and
I mean, it was a slow process. I mean, it wasn't just like this was like a year in the making of me actually coming here, of like feeling.
got it. But at
positive
that
again.
time, when you searched, when you hit your bottom, and you're like, I got to get out of this. I get it that you finally, totally did it. But I really like to dissect like that decision process, because for me, I was at my bottom. Like I was my heaviest. I was eating bad, not working out, drinking a lot, not knowing where my career was. Like And again, it feels like in life, your bottoms just keep getting lower as life goes on if you don't do anything about it. It's just a new bottom and a new bottom and a new bottom that you never think you would hit. So yeah, again, I feel also like I totally hit my bottom and I'm like, that's it. That's it. I got to. And somehow God put Jeremy in my path the next day, literally the next day. But so that's why I really like to dissect people's, mindset at the time, were like, enough's enough.
It was, for me, I continually had to look in the mirror and see all of the, like I said, the shame, the embarrassment, the car accident, I had a major concussion, and I failed the sobriety test, and I didn't blow, so I was charged with the OVI. Right. So at that time was my first one and last, but at the time I was just like so mortified of myself, and just literally looking in the mirror every day was really hard, because I'm like, how could I let this, happen? And I mean, it was like one day I think I just woke up and I was like, okay, I need to change. And I really dove into my faith at that time too. And I did have a lot of support of people helping me and just talking through it. So, but that was just, I just woke up one day and just kind of, I knew I had to change. I couldn't live like this anymore. So,
which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great. Unfortunately, in life, something has to happen to wake us up. And again, whether it's a car accident or a big mistake or a health issue or whatever else, just unfortunately, that's what humans typically wait.
It was the wake-up call. I definitely had to surrender. Like, there was nothing else I could do. I had no control. Didn't have a car. Didn't have a license. I'm a people person. I enjoyed going out and like just connecting with people. I couldn't do that. And no freedom.
COVID was still going on.
I mean, it was just, it was there, the deepest. So I just didn't know what else to do. So I just had to just surrender to whatever was coming. And I sat in these moments, and it was really hard because I didn't feel that anyone knew what I was going through. So even though I had support, I still felt that alone feeling.
Sure.
So I had to sit with it for 3 months.
Right.
I'm trying to figure it out. And
so now,
I did it on my own.
Okay, so now you're like, I don't want to sulk like this anymore. Enough's enough. I'm going to go online. I'm going to search.
Yeah.
What?
It was like health and wellness. It was just like a random, I don't even know what I was searching. It just popped up.
Got it.
I was like, oh, this looks like a cool place. And I got
most people don't most people don't fall on life coaching, mindset coaching, etc. It's typically health and wellness, then maybe it's food, maybe it's working out, etc. And
so that's how I connected with him, and then just kind of followed the story.
Our story.
Yeah, your story.
I mean, literally, if it was a year ago, it was day one of our business.
Yeah, so I just kind of followed it from there.
Cool. Okay, so what happened 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago?
So I had, 6 months ago, I had resigned from teaching, and my aunt just passed away. It's a close family member, obviously, and so I was like in a real weird place of like, I was just lost. Like I don't have passion anymore. I don't have my purpose. And Jeremy messaged me out of nowhere and was like, hey, do you want to try these life coaching sessions? I'm like, okay.
Got it.
And then week one.
Jeremy, how'd you?
She was ready and just came. Just happened to message her because she was ready. The universe put her
no, seriously.
together.
So you're connected to a lot of people on Instagram.
That's so crazy.
It was like random.
How'd you randomly come across Gina? Like that's because did you reach out before and she was in?
She's liked my post for a while.
Oh, got it. So
stuff,
you saw that she was engaged with our process.
She was engaged. She was liking some of our food for a while. She was liking my post for a while. And something that day just said, message her.
Right.
That's it. It was just a voice telling me to message her.
I think I had asked you advice about like some energy drink too or something like that.
Got
Because
it.
I knew he was into that stuff. So I'm like, oh, he'd be the perfect person to give me advice on,
Right.
you know, some power drinks or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, so he messaged me
This
and
is
then.
even more amazing than I thought it was.
So he messaged me and then I said, okay, let's try it out. And
Right.
the first week I bawled my eyes out. Second week I bawled my eyes out. I mean, they're
Okay,
all,
hold
again,
on.
they're all
Now
really
we're
good tears
fast
though.
forwarding. So Jeremy sends you
Okay,
a
yeah.
It was
message.
not me. I did not.
No, these are all good stuff. So
Oh, good Christ. Okay.
he messaged me and we had our first session
Okay.
and we made the goals.
He messaged you. What was your reaction when he messaged you?
I said, okay.
Like it's time.
I was just like, all right. I was in a place where I just couldn't. I was
Because
so
you're
lost.
open to everything.
Yeah.
Why did you quit your teaching job 6 months ago?
It was a period of just not being fulfilled. It wasn't fulfilling anymore, and the events leading up to that choice was it just felt like I needed to grow. I needed to kind of move on, and I fulfilled my purpose.
And you weren't happy.
I just kind of felt like that was it. I couldn't do anymore, and that's it was a crazy choice, but it was what I needed to do.
But you just knew that wasn't it. But you didn't have.
I had no plan.
No plan. No. I'm leaving it because I'm doing this. This is just not fulfilling me and making me happy. So I'm going to stop.
Correct.
And I'm going to figure out the other part.
And and my aunt's passing was really hard too. So in the moment of all of that, trying to figure out my stuff, I was grieving. I was trying to support my family. So it was just, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And it just didn't feel right.
So for a year before Jeremy reached out, you were obviously not just on our social, but you're probably on other things. Mm-hmm. Just on the beginning of your journey.
Correct.
Of you're working out now, etc. So you're on the path.
Yes.
On the path.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
So on the right path, right? You were on this wrong path where you felt things just new bottoms. Now you're getting out of the bottoms and onto the right path. It
was a process, yeah.
It was a process. Okay, so Jeremy.
Hey, man.
So she replies to you and she says, okay, let's do it. What are you thinking?
I said, sweet. I was excited.
Any expectations? What were you thinking?
That I'm about to help her out.
Right.
And I knew because she said yes, she was ready. Just like that. So I was like, okay, this is going to work.
Right. And so many that we talk to every day are just this they're ready, but they're not ready. And it's just like, here's the olive branch. Here's the olive branch. Pull it. And they just don't. And it's just so, it's hard to see.
Yeah, we were just talking about this before going live, that why is it so hard to accept the olive branch?
Right.
And a lot of it is just because just fear of how others are going to look at us when we're happy, when we're living in joy, when we're not stressed. People are going to, be like, what's wrong with that person? Because it's such the norm to live in stress and be unhappy.
Do you have fear of change?
I did. Now I'm okay with it. It's
even inspired by it, probably.
Yeah, definitely. It's I've realized we talked. He helped me kind of figure it out too. That fear is an illusion, and it's only gonna block you from ever fulfilling your higher purpose.
Exactly.
Really. So that's obviously.
How many times in my life have I seen the quote, if you're not growing, you're dying?
Right.
And we just dismiss it, but there's no better quote. I mean, it's fact that if you're going through personal growth and growing your mind, body, soul, spirituality, peace, all the good things instead of the bad things, That's what life should be about, right?
Right.
So Jeremy, new client, she accepts the olive branch. Do you have a first call process? Like, what's the game plan going into the call, or there is none?
Well, you just said that I helped you, or you helped yourself get over the illusion of fear. We hear it all the time. Fear is an illusion. Fear is an illusion. It does us no good to hear it unless we truly experience it. And you actually experienced that it was an illusion yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the ultimate goal with, these coaching calls, is to bring our awareness to a higher level so we can start seeing all the stuff that is causing us these problems and pains aren't actually real. They were created at a younger point in life.
Right.
And that's not who we really are.
Mm-hmm. I mean, with him, I had to go into some childhood trauma. And like the first week, he asked me my goals. And so I said, my confidence, I wanted to get, better with that. And I think there was like my health and wellness and just stuff like that.
Were you a person of any goals in the past? Or you never set goals?
Yes, but I wasn't consistent with it.
Right.
So, and this time I was like, I'm doing this. Like,
I mean, that's another thing that we hear all the time is you set goals and you write them down, and the odds of them becoming true are so much higher, like exponentially higher, 100 times higher. And we just don't do it, and people don't do it. And that's the added accountability of the coach helping you find those.
Right. And I've through this journey that I've been on, I've had a counselor, but it wasn't reaching me to that point that I was able to get with just coaching sessions with him, because it was more of a spirituality that I was missing.
Got it.
And going through the goals, and he gave me like strategies to use, and I dove right into them. Like, I was like, all right, I sat down, I journaled, it was.
So for this to work, like, there needs to be some brutal honesty, right?
Oh yeah, I was very transparent. I was like, this is my life. I need help.
How are you so honest with? I mean, at the end of the day, Jeremy's a stranger, a little bit.
I've always been that way, though.
Yeah.
I've always been pretty open with people.
Open book, yeah.
I've been in the service industry bartending for years, so I think it's just a natural thing for me to talk to people and tell their, tell my story, let them tell their story to me. So it's just I'm just a people person. Right. And I understand it.
First meeting, completely opened up, felt comfortable.
I was like, here's here's all the stuff.
Got it. So let's get into the specifics of first, not necessarily your story that you're going to get out there, but the what's covered in that first call, which was only 5 weeks ago.
I think initially it was just the goals, and how I'm gonna try to obtain them. It wasn't really. I feel like it was the one thing I focused on the most was like my confidence, and then he gave me a strategy of like going back into my childhood and finding out, the reason why, and imagining myself, my younger self, all that kind of stuff. As a little girl. Yeah, and I did that, and I listened, and then I listened. He put on the app the Life Purpose podcast, and that was
video.
Yeah, the video, and that was where it's like it just hit me really, really hard, because that was what I needed. I needed to find out what my purpose was, because I had been in this career for like 6 years, and I thought that was like my purpose. I thought,
identity, purpose, everything. Right.
Yeah. And so after leaving, I'm like, I don't know what to do. We went through the inner purpose, outer purpose. I like drew a diagram. Like, I was so into this, like taking notes. And then one day after listening to the video and stuff, the next week I was like, oh my gosh, I got it. Like, I think I figured this out. And then I started telling him all of this stuff, and he's like, whoa.
Jeremy's
the dreams.
The dreams were really intense.
Then the dreams came right after that. How about this? Talk about
so after the video, I was obviously emotional because everything that he was saying, I was feeling. I was like, this is my life. This is what I need to find out. So shortly after that, I had a dream, and I normally have pretty real, very realistic dreams.
Right.
This one in particular, I've never had anything like this.
Realistic. What do you mean by real? Like it could happen.
Well, like
type
realistic,
vivid,
like
right?
vivid. Yeah,
Vivid dreams.
vivid.
Okay,
That's
vivid.
a better word. Yeah, vivid
Okay,
dreams. So, so yeah, I had a dream that it was like in a futuristic kind of world.
Okay.
And it was color, and then there was black and white.
Well,
And so I was in this house with the colors, vibrant, healers, I guess you would
Right.
say, or people of God. And outside were like all the negativity and the hate and all kinds of stuff. And so I remember being in this house, and it's going to sound crazy, but I was lifted in the air, and I just was surrounded by the brightest light you could possibly imagine, just like full beaming light. And it was an incredible feeling. And I, came back down into this house, and I walked out into the streets, and I was like touching people, healing, like just talking to them. And then they joined like the God followers and spirituality and stuff. And then I woke up just crying, just bawling my eyes out, like, oh my gosh, what did I just experience? Because it really felt like I was like lifted in the air, and I just felt so powerful when I woke up the next day, and the days after, I felt like amazing. It's like,
Yeah, that's your soul talking to you.
it was just an incredible feeling.
so
it was
what does that dream mean to you? What is it?
Oh,
what's the meaning behind the dream?
I mean, I
and then I'd
dissected
like to
it.
tell you my feeling.
So I analyzed that dream a lot. I've had
Okay.
many different
Okay.
versions of it, but for me, it was I have a higher purpose. I mean, there's no way
to help others.
to heal others, whether it's by
Inspire
touching
others.
them, whether it's by, just like
Physically.
like, hey, it's okay.
This works right here.
What?
This.
Like
Yeah.
some
Putting a
people,
hand on the shoulder.
just
Sure.
need that.
Sure.
A hug.
Like
A
you
hug,
said, like
a
a
hug.
smile, or just listening to them. There was in the dream, there was a homeless man that I had like just put my hand on his shoulder and talked to him, and then he like came into our side, and then literally a couple of days later, I saw a homeless man. I was pulling off the highway, and I gave him money because I was like, oh, like it was like really crazy. And then that week, it was just constant little signs and like synchronicities happening. And I would see like billboards with the words like heaven or angels. And there's just like all these weird little, not weird, but little things happening.
So through coaching, do you feel your just overall presence is different?
Oh, 100%. It was needed. It definitely, all of the things that I've been through and coming to this point, there was no coincidence in this at all.
Right. So what I call this new life of mine too, where I was from some sides I've had successes in businesses and great family and whatever else, and there were positives, but definitely was the stressed, negative, obnoxious, ego driven guy, and this new life of peace, no agenda, health, happiness, joy is priority, gratitude. So similar dream than yours, but a little bit different. But I call it the ripple effect, right? Like that life of stress and negativity, I felt like I was the ripple effect of that. And everywhere I went, this is what I caused, and almost like I was searching for chaos and whatever else. Everyone around me was stressed and chaotic. I wonder why, because that's what I was portraying. And now with this health and happiness and inspiration, whatever else, I feel like that's the new ripple effect.
Yeah.
Is that everyone around me is starting to be calm and happier.
Yes.
Do you see
like
what I'm
who you
saying?
attract.
Like,
yeah, you're attracting different people.
It's who we attract
yes.
and what we portray out. And that's the magic.
I've definitely been feeling that lately.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's what I see in your dream is that ripple effect of this new awareness, peace, happiness, person chasing purpose in life, and whatever else is the ripple effect that you're going to bring out to other people.
I definitely feel more joy now than I ever have. I'm actually like on the job, like laughing more, telling jokes. I just feel more peace and more calm. And I'm usually, I've dealt with anxiety, depression.
I mean, this is a miracle in 5 weeks. Don't you feel like this is a
Oh,
miracle?
yeah. I mean, in the other dream I had to follow that was like another crazy experience too. It's just been nuts. It's been a roller coaster, but it's been, it was meant to be.
This podcast is going to be a good ripple effect.
I think so.
Didn't I say week 1 you would come on and do a podcast? Or at least I know I said it to myself. I might have not told you until like week 3.
Yeah.
But I already knew week 1 you're going to come on.
I think it was after the dreams. You're like, hey, I got a great idea.
Yeah.
You're going to do the podcast. I'm like, okay, sure.
Jeremy's good at that. Okay, Coach Jeremy, what was your first impression after? I mean, you have this new client who's obviously opening up and being super candid and honest and so on. What was your first feeling week 1?
I don't know about first feeling. I'm kind of balling it all into one because, again, it happened so fast. It just adds to my faith and my confidence in the universe and God and how it works, because her synchronicity was my synchronicity. Her new awareness level brought me to a new awareness level. Her healing dreams, I've had those too as well, differently though as well. So it adds to the puzzle that this is all just one magical place called the universe, that we're all connected and we're all here to help each other and grow.
I think his reaction was, whoa. That's I was telling him, all my stuff. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm just writing it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, we're all unique and different and have our own lives and bottoms and blah, blah, blah that we keep talking about, but there's so much synchronicity and so much commonality, and there's so much again, I always like to paint the picture of 2 paths. You want to go down the negative ripple effect path in life, or you want to go down the positive ripple effect in life, and you want to work on yourself and grow and really dive deep and figure it out, and that's life.
Right. And that's where you find the fulfillment.
That's where you find fulfillment, joy, and purpose, and inspiration to get up in the morning and go tackle the day and go figure it out.
Yeah, and like during these weeks, I was walking, so I do like more of a walking meditation.
Great.
I'm always on the go, so I really can't sit and meditate.
Right.
My meditation, if it is quiet, is when I wake up and when I go to sleep.
But I'm similar. So what does meditation mean to you? Because again, a lot of people on 101 level is like, meditate. I don't know. It's so scary to people. But what does meditation mean to you?
To me, it's I guess I have my own way of doing it, but it's just settling my mind and really listening to, and my body, really just kind of calming everything down. As I told him, my mind right now is like a carnival. Like there's so many things going off, and there's so many, I feel like, new things happening that I have to just sit for 10 minutes and breathe, and just, or 20 minutes or whatever it is, and just kind of let everything come in and settle. And sometimes I get like a very strong message that just keeps repeating in my head, and I have to hurry up and write it down. Right. And it's usually like on the treadmill or when I'm at work or when I'm interacting with somebody. It's just, I'm always on the go. So it just comes in that way. And I just hurry up and I write it down.
Those are probably the two biggest gifts that I talk about meditation is first of all, you calm down for a minute and just take in the presence and the gratitude
being in the moment.
Being in the moment. But ideas pop in.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't pop in when you're running around stressed as heck and whatever else. And legit, amazing, magical ideas are what pops in your head when you're fully,
one of
decompressing,
them,
I guess.
One of them was, I messaged him and I said, I want to be a life coach. Literally. And he's like giving me this link. I'm like, is this a real link? Did you use this? He said, no, but I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And it was just like one of those random
pop in the heads.
And I said, I want to be a life coach. Like that's my goal.
That's amazing. That's great.
So it's definitely inspired me. It's motivated me. All of these sessions have just, it just keeps getting better. It just keeps progressing.
It's just a carnival.
It's the carnival. I just keep winning all the games.
Which ride do you want to go on today,
I don't know.
Gina?
Hopefully with no clowns.
You got enough tickets? Give me 5 tickets for this one.
As long as there's no clowns, that's still a fear of mine, and that's not going to be
We have happy clowns.
Okay, well, that's okay then.
but at the beginning with me too, Jeremy, was just like, life just needs to be full of joy. Your kids should just be happy. I'm like, what do you mean? What about this? I'm still in this stressed world. And he's like, man, this is all just a game. And it's so like maddening to hear at the time when you're just sick and negative and stressed. And you're just like, what are you talking about? It's not. And the more you just keep working on yourself.
Exactly.
And you're just like, oh my God. It's just about joy and peace and happiness and growth. And that's all that life needs to be about. And everything else is an illusion. Everything.
I think it's, you can sit here and say, this is so easy. Like once you get to this point, it's so awesome. But for someone that has gone through hard times, and is still in those moments.
Who hasn't?
And is still like stuck in those moments, and you say, oh my God, this is like the best journey. They're still looking at you like, I don't believe you. So it's definitely, you have to, like you said, do the work. You have to go through those uncomfortable moments. And like I said, looking at myself.
But is it
in the
work?
mirror.
Or was the previous life more work?
I don't know.
That's one of my favorite analogies is like, okay, so now I meditate every day and I work out and I journal and and whatever else. And people are like, wow, you're putting the work in. And I'm just like, this isn't work.
It's really not, So
like that life of stress and not feeling good and et cetera was way more work.
I see what you're saying. Yes, I agree.
So talk about just your perspective of, okay, so now you want to be a life coach. What are you doing towards that?
Oh, well, right now it was just the thought.
It was just recently, the thought. Okay, got it.
Nothing yet, but it's definitely to come.
It's still just in the dark, right? Yeah.
So what else are you thinking about? Then if that's just the thought, what else are your thoughts of what your future looks like?
Honestly, I'm not really thinking about it. I've just been living moment to moment, day by day.
Okay, that's great.
I'm really finding joy in just waking up, so much gratitude and just enjoying my dog, enjoying like the nice weather. I haven't really put too much thought into what could come because I know whatever comes is going to be great. It's going to be amazing.
That's amazing. In 4 or 5 weeks, you have this perspective.
I think I had it all along. It was in there, but I just needed to like
a great point.
Bring it out.
That is a great point. We all have it right inside of us. It's actually as close as our skin.
Right.
That's all it is. It's just a different perspective. and awareness to find it.
But to have this peace and confidence versus 5 weeks ago,
I can't explain it. It's just,
it's always there. That's the explanation. It's always been there. That's the point. It's always in you. It's there. You all have it. Every single person out there has it. Every single person. Just forgot how to access it.
But I think I would have, it might have taken me a lot longer to realize these things if I didn't have these sessions and someone helping me to find that spiritual part that I felt I was missing. So yeah, everybody has it in them, but not everyone has the capability or the confidence to allow it to come, I guess, if that makes sense.
I would call it truth.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are just willing to get brutally honest with themselves.
It's the vulnerability.
That's it. I think everything else is life's. It's when somebody says, "Look, this is what I've done. I take full accountability. This is who I am. I don't want to be this anymore. I want to be joyful, confident, and live with purpose and whatever it takes to get there,
right.
I'm willing to do and get honest
that's exactly what I
get a coach. So to me, honesty is probably the biggest. Honesty, and within honesty comes that personal accountability. Like, no one put you here. Politics didn't put you here. Your whatever else didn't put you here. I'm just saying, people are so quick to blame. Oh, well, it's this and COVID and this, and they're take accountability for your life, where you're at, and
that's exactly what I had to do.
And the rest will be a carnival ride.
Yeah, no clowns, just all elephant ears.
So, anything else? Any other, I guess, sessions or exercises that you found? I know you're going to say that they were all super helpful. Anything else stick out that you want to share?
I guess, like, through my journey, I have to say that it was definitely slow moving, the process, but to finally be in this position where I feel confident, I am not afraid anymore of things that are gonna come my way. I am able to help others in some small ways, of even just picking up their phone call, or if someone's on my mind now, I just call them or text them and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about you.
That's awesome.
Hope you're okay." It's just really brought me more to a present place. Right. And I just, again, I said that's
I would add to joy. Present. I would say healthy. You have a healthy mind. Like, sick minds, they procrastinate. They say, "Oh, I thought about him, but I'm going to call him tomorrow. Or I'm going to call him next week," because you don't feel it. Like, a healthy, happy, joyful person wants to share it. They tackle things as they come up. They don't procrastinate. That's another big, big thing that happens when you start healing. I just found
that's really, it's just the healing process. I mean, it wasn't easy.
Right.
And I had to sit through a lot of unwanted emotions, but it was that period that I needed to obviously grow and to realize what I needed, what type of support I needed. I was paying more attention to my health and my physical, mental health, and my connections with people. And so there was so many different things that it just kind of all made sense. It just all makes sense now.
Right.
All of that was for a reason. It was for a greater purpose, despite how crappy it was.
And you started becoming okay with it.
And I started to became more self-aware, like gradually. Right. One of the moments, though, I know Jeremy wanted me to share when he mentioned that during my accident, I had to wait like 6 to 8 months for a court date, and I had a jury, because in this county, that's what you have.
Okay.
And so I had a judge, I had a jury, I had the lawyers, and they put on a video of that night. And so I'm sitting there, mind you, I had a concussion, so I don't remember anything.
Got it. So like the
I don't
body
remember.
cam of the
Yeah.
cop.
So I was like out of it. So I'm sitting in the courtroom and they put the video on. And I told Jeremy I think I had a full on out of body experience, because it was like, imagine watching a documentary. You're on the TV, you put a documentary on.
Right.
You're watching it and you're like, oh wait, that's me.
Right.
Like, it was so bizarre, and I kept it together. Like, didn't cry or anything, but I was watching myself mortified and just like, oh my gosh, that's me. That was me. Right. And not knowing, not remembering anything. It was the immediate switch. Like, that was the pivotal point of like, okay, I'm full speed. I'm going to do this. I'm changing everything. Before that, it was just like trickling kind of here and there, like figuring it out. But after that, that was my full, like, watching myself in real time. Like, that was just horrible. And I felt at that moment, like, that's not me. That can't be me. Right. So that's when I was just like, all right, here we go.
So you had an out-of-body experience, because that's really what it was. You were sitting in the courtroom as, let's just call her Gina number 2, and you saw yourself as Gina number 1. And that shift in, holy crap, Gina number 1 exists, number 1, is already a freeing from her. Mm-hmm. So that's why you had that freeing and realization. So we can practice this in any low point we are in life. That imagine yourself 6 months from now doing the work, did the work at a happy level, looking at yourself through the television like it is a movie or a show or a documentary, and fix it. See that there's a different person there.
Right.
There's a higher awareness, different perspective, a higher self there.
That's exactly what it was. I felt like I was looking at all of the things, all of the, how I had used alcohol in the past, and just my habits, the way I was reacting to things, the way I was, even the words that I used. Like, it was like so many different things. And that was the point where I just,
and that's really that's part of the bottoms, right? Like, I would never do that. And you do that, and then it's like, I wouldn't. Anyway, so welcome to this journey. So what would you tell someone that's on the fence right now?
Like life coaching,
life coaching. Just they're on the wrong path. They're on the path of negativity and stress and not putting health as a priority, etc. What would okay, it's your friend. Let's just say it's your friend. What would you say?
Well, it's what I told myself, really, is that I have the power to change. I have all of the tools that I need in myself to change if I really want to. And you just have to, essentially put in the work, but you have to not be afraid to be vulnerable, to let those emotions out, to cry.
Because being afraid is an illusion.
Right. Exactly. So just really, I don't know, I just try to be your higher self, like, have faith. I know it's hard for people,
right? Because
maybe their environment doesn't really represent that, or, they don't have the support, but who creates their environment?
They do.
They do, yeah.
So they put themselves in that environment. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I get it that, we put ourselves in the environment, then we're stuck in the environment or feel stuck in the environment. But again, that's a delusion.
And those are some of the people that I reach out to the most. Like, if I, have friends out there that are struggling, those are the people that I say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Nice. Hope all is well. Call me if you need anything, because I know that I can give them a little bit of hope
Right.
Because I was there. Like I was at the deepest, darkest point where I didn't think I could get out of, and feeling alone and all that stuff. So I feel like my testimony can help others and know that you can get out of it. And it's not going to be easy, but it's so worth it.
Got it.
Like so worth it. I would to go through what I went through to feel how I feel now is I would, not that I would do it again,
Right.
but
I feel the exact same way. I wish I wasn't.
It was everything was happening for a reason, and it was the bigger picture that I was missing.
Right.
And now when I see it in the big picture, it's like your feelings and your emotions are just temporary. Don't worry. Like this is not how your life is going to be the rest of your life. It's going to get better, but you have to take yourself out of it. You have to start seeing in a different perspective and opening yourself up more to any opportunity that comes your way. Yeah.
Might be a message on DM.
It might be. Hey, let's go.
Or a podcast you do one day. I
mean, if you're listening to this, maybe.
By the way, this is your first professional podcasting or life coaching session.
Yes. This is my
it's your first life coaching session. No question. You're helping someone that's listening to this right now. So,
and I'm still
welcome to the club.
Trying to explain. Trying to figure out how to explain things properly.
Yeah, no, it's hard. I remember my first time trying to explain this, people thought I had lost my mind, which is exactly what happened. I lost my mind. Jeremy number 1.
What's next for you? What's like a 60 or a 90-day goal for you?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of go week by week. Like this week, I tackled fear. That was my thing. Yeah. It was just like one of those things. Like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. This week, I don't know. I know whatever it is, I'm going to go full.
Well, I think this week is kind of sharing the information, the new wisdom.
Yeah. It's a good one. Yeah.
Because you're doing
it. I think that's a good one.
Yeah. You're also going to surprise yourself when you rewatch this.
There's going to be another out-of-body. No, I don't know.
You said a lot of amazing things.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Said a lot of amazing things, and then rehearing it later, like when I rewatch podcasts, I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Even just trying to prep for this, because this is my first podcast, so I don't really know what to expect. So he's like, yeah, you're just gonna go in there and tell your story, and I'm like, oh my god, my story. So I had to that was one of the weeks that I actually had was like, okay, I'm gonna sit with my story. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna kind of document and go, event by event by event. This is why, you see these little notes and highlights.
Because you need notes for your story.
I needed to see it. And I'm like, oh yeah. Right. And then it just all started, and I'm remembering certain things now. Like, I forgot that happened. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Or just, and so it really.
Self-reflection.
It was a lot of self-reflection this week. Yeah.
Any goals for next year? I know you're living it day by day, week by week, but I'm going to get some.
She's still in the carnival.
My carnival is still going strong. It's just I'm just going to kind of come, I guess. It's kind of going with the flow right now. I'm not really. Yeah. I know it's all going to be good. I don't have any doubts that it's.
You have zero doubt.
I have zero doubts.
Zero doubts.
Zero doubts.
Boom.
Welcome to the club. Okay, well, one goal I will put for you is Gina Boneta podcast too with us at some point soon.
Yeah,
we'd love a follow up and your continual self progress, which is amazing. And
thank you.
Her name is Gina. I called it Bonita, and you are.
That's okay.
It means beautiful in Spanish, and
I'll take
you
it.
are beautiful.
I am Puerto Rican and Mexican, so.
What?
So I am Puerto Rican and Mexican too, so that fits perfectly.
So I think that's even, or how do you spell it? Nita is Bonita? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is Boneta. So Gina, thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
And we'd love to have you back soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gina.
Okay, bye. Peace.